Hello and welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 and Ballyspring. Right, so we're in May. Did progress through the month of April from the last episode, and I have been busy. So as you can probably tell, obviously the soybeans have been planted into these two fields and they're growing nicely. I also rolled both of them fields with the help of Courseplay, and we've got a bit of weeds in there. Now I have checked, and unfortunately they're at the medium level, so it means we're not going to be able to use the weed that we've got. We're going to have to use a bit of herbicide on that, so we're going to take a hit. But I'm hoping it's not going to be too bad. I mean, ideally at this point you'd want like the spot spraying so you could, you know, increase the environmental score, but it is what it is on them fields. Unfortunately, for some reason they didn't give us the chance as soon as we hit the first month of May, when the crop came through, to have the small weeds. And I think this one's the same. Yes, it is. So we've got medium weeds in our maize fields. So we've got both of them, I imagine, will be like this. And you can see they're just spots around the place. So not ideal, but we'll work with it, and we are going to make this into silage anyway, so it shouldn't be too bad when it comes to this. It's just the yield of that soybeans is just going to bring us the money in. We just now need to obviously do some herbicide at the two fields there. We also need to do it in the maize, but we also need to do fertiliser in the maize, whereas the soybeans doesn't require any nitrogen. Grass as well, that's the one thing we're going to be focusing on in these next probably 2 episodes, is our grass fields are all ready. So the ones that we've planted in, we should be seeing more from the actual grass when it comes to chopping it down. I'm hoping so anyway, and our environmental score should shoot up as soon as we chop that. Now I did try a technique with obviously the herbicide. I went into the field and just sprayed a tiny bit with the one I've been leasing out, and I'm hoping after I've chopped I'll see a bit of a change in the environmental score for these grass fields when it comes to herbicide. So we just have a quick look now. We can go into probably, yeah, we'll have a look at nitrogen first. You can see these two doesn't matter because it doesn't require any. This is the field that we're going to have to put a bit of nitrogen down, and same with 151, but all these grass fields here are fine at that level. Doesn't really require much nitrogen grass. And yeah, so it's just mainly 2 fields for nitrogen. When we have chopped these 4 though, we've got so much muck and so much slurry that we're going to have to find a way of getting rid of it. If it comes to it, we will take it to the biogas plant, try and make a bit of money that way. But ideally I want to be using it on the fields. That would be the best case scenario. Could have put it on this field maybe before I started planting in, but I think that's probably better for the next harvest time round, with this being the first one, setting up a fields and all that. So let's have a quick look at these grass fields and the 4 that we've got. You can see these 2 here are 63, but I think that's because, well, these are joined together, but that might be because we did do some crop in this field, so that our harvest or nitrogen levels are different. Whereas this one, we got no score yet for the nitrogen. pH value's not where it should be, even though we do know it was perfectly fine, and weed control sitting about halfway. Now I'm hoping that changes as soon as we chop the grass, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. But 47's a bit too low. You know, this is where we want to be, don't we? We want to be around the 87s. But yeah, we're getting there. I mean, this one's not bad at all. 77. That's because of the nitrogen being so good. pH will be fine on that, and weed control, we'll get some form of score because we're obviously going to be doing herbicide in it. But you know, still, there's a lot to do in them fields, and I'm hoping to get the best score I can without having spot spraying and actually having weeds on that are going to affect what goes on. Let's park that there and let's talk about something else quickly. Now, in the last episode we did look at these igloos, and I'm enjoying playing with them. And I've been messing about again, as you can imagine, with the mods, doing some little personal private edits to try and make it so I could have milk for the calves. And I did it. We actually succeeded in doing that, which is great news. And I know these are heifers now, we are going to move them over and all that kind of stuff. We're going to get into that in this episode because it has got to the point where these are now too big for these and we're going to put them in with our heifers. Also, the heifers in here got to the point where I just got to where there was no food left, and I was really lucky because they could have died, some of them did, but I was lucky. I've still got 30 heifers in here, and what I had to do was just put a few bales of silage in and a couple of bales of hay. Didn't make a TMR mix or anything like that. I just stuck some like food in there just to tie them over, because they're obviously going to go out in this pasture in this episode. Now you can see that the grass has been growing and then being chopped away through the grazing mod, being put into the animal like feeding category. Now that's because it was so low before, from obviously before we brought the cows in before around winter time, that it's just been topping it back up. So I'm hoping when I put them out I can see that that's got some good, a good amount of feed for them, because we're going to have a lot more now, because we're going to be moving these over. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. It is. We're just going to have to make sure that we make enough feed this time round and store it away, because that's the main thing, just having enough feed for these cows. Now I know they look a little bit silly with the heifers, but like I said, we are going to move them. But what I want to just quickly talk about is how I made the changes to have milk available now with the calves. So using the Maize Plus Food Additions mod, the XML thing you can edit, I basically just put milk into all 4 of them feeding categories. So technically I could give milk to the cows, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to simulate it like I'm giving them to the obviously the young calves. So that works. Now I needed to obviously then make this bucket in the mod not look like it was a feed type. So all I did was changed in the mod the default feed, I think it was the default fill type category, and just changed it to water. And what you'll find is in a bucket, when water fills up, it kind of looks white. So that's suited me and kind of gone down the line of it looks like milk now, it is milk now, and so on. I also then purchased this, placed it down, which is just a little mod you can find on King Mods. It's natural milk, and it basically gives me the option to buy milk when I haven't got it, because I am using the mod that automatically sells milk at a certain time of the day. So if I'm not quick and I don't move it out from over here, this is the trigger to pick up milk as well, then obviously I'm not going to have any milk. So I put down a milk storage tank as well, so this one can hold milk, and I bought 10,000 litres of milk from here, stored it into this just to check that it was working, which it was, so that's good. And then from this point what I'll do is make sure in the mornings, maybe just before the milk sells, if I want to take any milk and store it into there, I can, obviously for feeding my calves. So that brought me with the question then, what we're going to move it around with, how are we going to get it into them buckets. So what I decided to do is the tank that I had for water, swapped out for this one out of the Universal Tanks pack, which is an LSFM mod. It's made for Hofburg, and a lot of the mods that we're using in this series are actually from LSFM and Farmer Andy and that side. A lot of the mods we're using are actually from LSFM and Farmer Andy and his team. I think the enhanced animal mod that we're using, that gives credit to Farmer Andy because of the goats and all this feed, all the changes to the animals and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, a lot of it is we're relying on that side of stuff, and they are some absolutely amazing mods, they really are. So yeah, we're using this, and what this can do is it obviously can move water, it can move milk, and so on. So it's perfect because we can move the milk from there into this, and then we can get a little thing that I've purchased, again, LSFM. I've got 2 of them because they're in the cheap, which is these. So these will fill up milk, and we can just take them right in front of the bucket, which I've tested, and we can fill up the milk from that, and it works perfectly. So now my calves are going to be having milk. My heifers will then move out and go into these barns or outside, depending on where the other cows are, and we can obviously, simulate what real live farmers do, which is great. Now at some point we are going to have to separate our heifers to our milkers and all that stuff when they get fully aged, but we're going to hit that point where we'll have 30 that go into milkers, and then these lot that go into heifer, and we'll probably have some more calves coming in, and so on. So if we just quickly hop over to here, you can see that, yeah, I've put another one of them over here, a few more igloos, and we've got some, again, basically the calves are now at the age we need to move them out. So we're going to do that in this episode. We really are. We don't need this pile of TMR mix that I did anymore, which is so much easier. So we don't have to pick it up with a shovel and feed anymore. We can just use that cart for milk. But we will keep the straw down here, and we'll probably keep buying small straw bales because they're just easy to pick up. I am already using super strength for the shovel, which technically shouldn't, but it's a it's a lot of muck to shovel. It really is. So it just makes my life easier. I can just swing across in one swoop and get it done. So the last thing I want to point out is this bad boy. Now this is something I've been working on myself. It's private because obviously I've put logos on. But I decided I wanted an I for Williams proper trailer, animal trailer, and luckily Mark Thor did a perfect trailer for me to then just apply some logos on. Now I think he has actually done his own version of this, but I think the stop faffing sticker's in a different place maybe. He hasn't got the I for Williams stickers on the side, and I'm not sure if he put it on the back. I think he did, but yeah, I basically just made it like galvanized look, but a bit more shiny than a galvanized look, and yeah, we've got the I for Williams trailer to move the animals around. So I sold the other one, and actually I made a bit of money by doing that because the one that I had cost a little bit more. So yeah, it's ideal, and I'm really looking forward to using this right now as we move the cows out. So there is a lot going on, like you can imagine, as always with this series. Keep hopping into the months and showing you my changes to the map just so we can kind of progress, and I'm kind of trying to get that perfect milk and dairy farm. And I think so far it's worked out. So let's go get some cows, because we're going to need to shift these out. I think we should probably start with the heifers, and then we are going to feed that one calf, because I did purchase another calf and sold the heifer I had, and then realised after that I didn't need to sell the heifer. I just should have just moved it out, but I was thinking, oh, I need a space, and then I put some more iglos in anyway, so really I shouldn't have sold that heifer, but I did. So let's just simulate this, loaning these cows. It would be brilliant if you could actually guide your cows, you know, into different pastures and stuff like that, but I think we're getting ahead of ourselves there a bit too much. Now, it does hold 6, whereas the other one was holding about 7. So it's close, but, you know, not quite there, and it is going to be a lot of travelling. But the main thing is we can move these cows out to the pasture, which I'm hoping now the feed will last, because I want to get in them grass fields. I really do. I want to get in them grass fields and start making some feed, and if I have to make some TMR mixes and put them outside, then, well, we can do that, can't we? I'm just trying to think now. I won't open the thing every time, but I think now, if I look at my animal tab, I should be able to see how much feed they actually have. So, open cow pasture, it's at 36,000. That's not much. That really isn't. Let's just hope it lasts out. If not, we're going to have to start making our own TMR mixes, aren't we? And probably, yeah, splitting them up maybe into the inside and the outside. In fact, we'll keep them all outside. There's no point in splitting them up because we'll still get some feed from the grazing mod, whereas we won't on the inside. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that doesn't have a grazing mod on it. So yeah, we're going to have to... Yeah, it's going to be tricky, but we can do it. But anyway, I think perfect time now to stick in a time lapse of me moving all these cows, including the heifers that have just come out of the calf pens, and we'll get them all outside. It's probably going to take me a few trips, as you can imagine, and I might even need to use the small trailer that I purchased for that patch over there, but I am hoping the other ones at the top I can use the bigger trailer. It should save me some time. so that's all the cows outside. So we're just going to quickly sort out what they've left, all the mess, and we're going to fix that quickly. Now I have done the other area as well, so it's just this place left. But let's just shove it in here. It's like the new home for Mock. There we go, job done. And we can just plonk that over there somewhere. Because we're not going to get any calves now for a while, I'll lift these up. I did place these down before thinking I'd have enough space in between, but it's made me realise I do need a bit, you know, a bigger gap in between these. It's probably easiest to start from here. There we go. So it's just to lift them up while we've got no calves in it. Now we have got this one, and this is just mainly just to showcase what I've changed. So same as before with the straw, just all you have to do is just stand in front of the trigger with that one, so that's easy enough. And that's why I like these small bales, because it's, you know, it makes my life a lot easier. And then what we have to do is get some milk. So I haven't got any in here. Now I could buy some, but I did buy 10,000 litres anyway, and I stored it in there, so we're going to just use a bit of that. I think, open the lid, there we go, I put 7,500 litres in here, which is more than enough. I wonder if I can just squeeze past here. Yeah, tight with the rear wheel. Now you can see that it's saying offloading, that's because I can't put milk now into pretty much all the cows' feeding areas, but I'm not trying to do that. We are, there we go, we got through. We're just using it for the calves. Ooh, close, very close. Right, so all we have to do with this is jump onto this, open the lid, put that about there, and then we start overloading. So then what it's doing, you can see the dial on that one going down and the dial on this one going up. It's as simple as that. Dead easy to do, but obviously it makes it more realistic, and I'm actually giving milk to my calves now in game, which is something that I wanted to do when I first got these igloos. There we go. So we can just switch that off. Get back into this. And then what I usually do is just line it up, and it works a treat. Now you will notice that it comes out like water from this, but it'll fill up and look like, yeah, it'll look like milk in the bucket. There we go, job done. So we'll let that fill up, and we'll have a look at our animals just so you can see which one it is. There'll be one sitting on its own now, there you go, and 700 litres of straw, and then I can have 3,000 litres in these, well, 4,000 litres, sorry, in the igloos of the feed, which is pretty good. Means that I don't have to keep going crazy with that. And that's it, job done. Happy as that. Now obviously when I've got loads of calves again and we get to the point where, yeah, they're going to be busy as hell giving us calves, we're obviously going to probably need a few more igloos. Now we have got the space up at the other area, but I do want to kind of separate it out. I have thought about, if I get some male calves that we're not going to use as milkers, should we separate it out and sell them when they get to heifer, obviously like beef stock, or even sell them on as a bull or something. I mean, it's one of them. They are technically going to be like a milking breed. But we will make a bit of money from, just like we're going to do with the rams over here, where the male rams that we've got that are young, these lambs. So as soon as they get to about 5 months, we're going to sell them. We're going to sell them and hopefully make a bit of money off them. For yeah, as if we was doing the meat production and all that kind of stuff for lambing. But yeah, I'm happy with that. I think that's not too bad. We've got 44 heifers now out in the field feeding on this 36,000 litres, which won't last long at all. Probably going to need to take some water out at some point as well. We'll make sure we do that. And then, yeah, we need to keep an eye on these heifers because we need them to get to a good age. Now these 14 are not even at puberty yet, but these have hit that point at 20 months. So as soon as they get into that reproduction of 100%, I imagine these are no longer going to be heifers. I think if we just actually quickly confirm this, I think it's about 22 months. Yeah, 22 months and they'll become milkers. So not too bad, not far off now. But now, I think what we should do is start focusing on these grass fields. I think we'll work on one at a time. Maybe this one over here is the furthest grass field away. We'll work on this one here. We'll chop it. We're going to probably chop and row it. And then at that point, we can make some wrapped silage bales. We're going to go silage first and then we'll do hay after. But I do want to shift some muck and slurry. So I'm hoping that I can get... Well, I'm hoping that I can get this field all baled up before I move on to this field, so it gives me a chance to start using coarse play and get some muck spread and all that kind of stuff. So we'll do a field at a time. So let's go get the mower and let's crack on with that. So thinking about it, we're actually going to be really busy in the month of May. Like, probably really busy because we've got all this weeding to do in these fields. A bit of fertiliser as well, and all this mowing to do, rowing, baling, and then obviously muck spreading. Yeah, so it's a lot of work. It really is. So we'll just work our way around. Again, I need to make sure that I add the conditioner, which I always forget to do. I think I'm pressing the right button here. Sure I am. Let's check this out. Z. There we go. Got it right this time. It's probably better to do the conditioner because I know you can make silage bales out of fresh grass, but I'm sure you can't put it in a bunker unless it's conditioned at least anyway, so it's probably better to get in the habit of that. We're not going to be doing grass silage in the bunker. We're going to save that for maize, with us only having the one. Yeah, it should be good. It should be good. It should be a good amount of grass coming off this field now that we've, you know, done everything we needed to with lime and everything like that, and precision farming. We replanted as well, so I mean, it's not going to change much when it comes to the replanting. Fertiliser is obviously a big one, but we had the right amount of fertiliser before. The main one, I'd say, is lime. Definitely. Yeah, you can see we've got weeds in that field as well. Right, so I think what I'll do now is stick in another time lapse of me chopping this field. We'll do the rowing as well, and then we'll get the baler out. Let's get this field all done, eh? Good starting point to move on to the next ones when we want to muck spread in this as well.
Lately I've been going through some hard stuff. Getting knocked down, getting right back up. Only mistake I made was thinking you would have my back, but it's one-way track. That's right, now I've had enough. Your bad behavior isn't what I'm worth, no, that's right. Now I've had enough. You don't see it, but I see it. Ooh, I'm a march warrior and you're bitter. Speaking with a different native tongue. You're egocentric, I'm a bootlicker. You don't ever get me. Ooh, I've developed, you're still the same. You see problems while I see keys. Even though we always will be friends, but sometimes you grow apart. You're taking all your problems all on me, forgetting you have a responsibility. The way that you don't care cause your anxiety isn't reason enough to be acting so rough.
Right, so 22 bales. I'm really happy with that from one field. And they're all 5,500 litres, so the 150s. Not bad at all. Really am chuffed with that. And it didn't take that long, in all fairness. The mower is actually really quick because it's kind of like non-stop. You don't have to really stop much. You can just turn it really well. And I used Courseplay as well with the row, which actually worked to treat. I didn't have any issues for the first time in a grass field with Courseplay hitting the hedges. So then I just obviously went around with the baler and finished off. So we've done pretty good there. I think overall, if we look at that and we got 4 fields, we're going to get close maybe to, 80, 90 bales, depending on the other size of the fields. I mean, there's one that's bigger down that side. Yeah, I'd say them 2 over there are probably bigger than these fields. So definitely going to get enough grass silage. I'm just hoping that I get enough maize silage and all crop silage to go with it. And then we need hay. But hay should be good as well because we'll get probably the same amount of grass that we've got here in silage as we will for hay. So that's not going to be an issue at all. So what I'll do now is before the next episode, I'll make sure I wrap these bales and then just put them away into the storage area. And then I think at the start of the next episode, we'll just pretty much carry on with the grass work, getting them mowed and start making some silage bales. And then I think if we can get Courseplay doing the most of that, we might be able to get into this field and any others after that and start spreading a bit of nitrogen, because you can see that it's gone down to bad, which, I mean, isn't a problem at all because we don't even need much. The muck spreader and the slurry, we've got plenty of it, and it'll go a long way with it only needing 65 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare. So overall, happy with the episode. Definitely starting on the grass work, which is always good. We're going to get a lot of feed, like I said, and we'll start working on getting these grass fields all done and making some silage so we can get out and start spreading some muck. But on that note, I am going to leave the video there, so thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give the video a thumbs up because that does help my channel out. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator.